Welcome back to Under the Palms, our discussion about all things death in paradise. In Season 12, Episode 5, Neville Parker is reunited with his new love interest Sophie after solving yet another murder on the island. But the episode ends on an ominous note when his place is ransacked. Here to talk to us all about it, we're joined by Sophie actress herself, Chelsea Edge.
Chelsea, welcome to our Under the Palms series. It's lovely to have you.
Thanks for having me.
You have joined the show at a very exciting time as Neville's, love interest, are we saying? How has it been joining the series?
Yeah. So, it's been incredible. Like, it's an amazing show and, the team are all wonderful. It's been, it's really interesting, actually, because Ralph and I grew up, very, very close to each other. So as soon as I arrived, I was, really welcomed, and it was really, really lovely to work with him.
Whereabouts was that? Is that in Manchester? Is it the same as your character?
Yeah, so Ralph is from Bury and I'm from Bolton, but actually Ralph went to school in Bolton, so we had a lot of stuff to talk about, being in those little small towns, and I was like, it's kind of nice. And also you have the whole similarity with Neville and Sophie. They click initially, I guess, because they're from the same place, and it's quite I think it almost feels like it's fate. She goes halfway across the world and meets this really nice guy who's also from Manchester.
Well, let's talk about the episode, though. So it's episode 5, and it's really exciting for Sophie and Neville because Sophie comes back. And why do you think she made the U-turn that she did?
I think the reason that Sophie goes travelling, I think she's a little bit lost and she's felt like she was missing something in life. So she goes travelling. She ends up in this island. She's going to go island hopping. And then she meets Neville, and I think whenever you go on holiday, you have a bit of a crush, you have a little bit of fling, you know that it's not going to be forever. But I think she has such a soft spot for him, and I think coming away from it, even though she didn't, she's trying to be a realist in that moment. She's like, I'm not going to be here forever. Let's just have fun. But I think coming away from it and coming back and being like, how have I left this incredible island, this guy that I really like, that is from the same town as me? I think she doesn't want to let it go, because if in a few years' time, there'll always be that what if. And I think it's one of those things where, do you know what? I'm just going to do it, because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I won't look back and regret not going back.
Definitely. And fans obviously taken to your character really quickly, because Neville's had a rough time and he deserves some romance. Do you think that this is legit between them both?
I think for Sophie, I think she's a bit of a hopeless romantic, which is why she's I'm just going to come back and see if I can make this work, because I really like this guy and I really fancy him, and why not?
Definitely. And, you've come in at a really interesting time of the show, because obviously things this season are very ominous for Neville. He's got his mate Andy's shown up on the island. You've got Robert Webb's character who is glaring at you two, out for revenge. Where's Sophie's place in all of this sort of chaos that started up around Neville?
I think she just wants to be there to support him, because with all the stuff that is going on, it's obviously a very trying time for Neville, and I think she just wants to be his anchor. It's nice for him to have her there, because obviously he has his work colleagues, but it's not quite the same, is it? And I think she just wants to be there for him when he comes home, to be able to talk about it, or to be able to you need someone to vent to. And I think she just wants to be a supportive girlfriend.
And at the end of the episode, that it's kind of the serious drama kicks off, because you get back to Shay Neville and it's trashed. What can you tease anything about next week?
It's definitely an interesting few episodes that are about to come up, and it's definitely it's different from what they've done previously, and which is quite nice. And I think it'll be good for the viewers to watch. It's 12 seasons of Death in Paradise now, and hopefully this will feel a little bit more refreshing of how the story goes and stuff. But I think for Sophie, I think even if she's a big softie, I don't think she's afraid of a little bit of trouble. If this is going on in his life, I'm not this is not going to make me run. I am here, and I'm not going anywhere, kind of thing. So, which is good.
True love has previously meant that other detectives have left the island. It's the other way around for Sophie, because Sophie came back, but is she in San Marie to stay? Are you taking our Neville away to England with you?
We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? I mean, I'm hoping that she'll stay, and then I can stay in the Caribbean too. But yeah, I had I'd read up a little bit on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, no, he's gonna leave, and I'm like, oh no, please, just hold off and see what happens. So yeah, but I'm not saying anything.
Is there anything that is like, you know what, I'm glad I'm back in Manchester. I'm glad that that's done.
The mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was a snack apparently to the mosquitoes. I was like, and I get really bad allergic reactions to them. So I'd be eaten alive, and then I would swell everywhere. So
you're like the real life Neville. Like he's the one who's usually allergic to the island. But
yeah, I mean,
you're the real deal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. But everything else, I love the weather. It was literally just the mosquitoes was the only negative thing that I could think of.
Amazing. And final question, I know you probably can't tell me, but would you like to return as Sophie in season 13?
I'd love to return.
Thank you so much for joining us for our episode of Under the Palms. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and head over to hellomagazine.com for more news of Death in Paradise.